Hey everybody, Mr. Townsend.
And Miss Treble.
And we are going to read to you the hidden glories of Pompeii. Let's get ready to do a screen share. Hey, by the way, behind us is Mount Vesuvius, the mountain that destroyed Pompeii. The hidden glories of Pompeii. Planning to visit ancient sites on your next vacation? We're launching an exciting new regular feature on travel. Danielle Tranosky kicks off this issue with a trip to Pompeii. Pompeii is like no other site in the world. From the excavated parts of the city, one can see the long vanished lifestyle of the first century. Everyone knows the site speaks of it as being frozen in time. However, it's far from cold, and its ending was certainly far from icy. Aside from being on the sunny coast of Italy, it's one of the most visited sites in the world and usually teeming with visitors.
Like many ancient sites, Pompeii has its modern threads too. The high volume of visitors is wearing on streets and structures. Mary Beard, one of the most eminent classicists, in the UK, thinks that's okay. An article in the Telegraph in 2016, Beard was quoted as approving of the booming tourist industry around Pompeii. The continued public interest in the site and ancient monuments across the world is what will preserve them, she states. The world does not need the sites, but the sites need us, she says. On cultural tourism, I'm terribly and perhaps culpably, it's not right, laid back. Pompeii's job actually is to interest us in the ancient world. That's what it's there for. And the idea that somehow it should be so carefully preserved that only a load of academics, rich people, and television cameras are allowed actually there, while 10 kilometers down the road, we built a little mock-up for the plebs is ghastly.
I agree with her. She acknowledges that visiting significant sites amid a crowd of 2.5 million annually isn't the most enjoyable experience. However, there is just so much to see that it's still at the top of her recommended sites to visit.
This incredible preservation is what makes it such a fascinating place. Visitors can walk the streets with their Roman paving, imagine grand productions in the theater, feel the ghosts of the arena, and delight in the sumptuous decoration of the villas. There's something for everyone, whether your interests tend to art, politics, economy, urban planning, decorative art, or historic and hygiene practices.
Cool. Sounds like a neat place so far.
I think so.
Places to see. With 2/3 of the city excavated, there is plenty to see. The public spaces are typical of the size and scope of Roman building projects. There are 2 theaters, the Large Theater and the Odeon, which collectively seat 4,500 people. These facilities share the Palaestra and the Quadriporticus with its gladiatorial housing and training operation, with the amphitheater, which likely seated another 20,000 spectators. The amphitheater requires a bit of a walk, but is stunning and well worth it. It's thought to be one of the oldest surviving stone Roman arenas, aside from the Colosseum. Other important public buildings in Roman Pompeii include the Forum and the adjacent Basilica. The Basilica is like a big church, with only remnants of columns and bases surviving. These areas served as a central meeting and marketplace, hosting goods from all over the far-reaching Roman trade network. For modern visitors, they're some of the most crowded areas due to the proximity to the modern tourist entrance.
Okay, like most urban environments, there is ample evidence of religious activity in Pompeii. The temples are in various states of decay, with the temples of Apollo, Isis, and Jupiter being some of the best preserved sites. Apollo was the primary deity in Pompeii for most of the city's history. However, the Roman preference for Jupiter grew around 150 BC and led to a surge of development around the Temple of Jupiter near the Forum. The Temple of Isis shows the influence of the Egyptian pantheon in the Roman world with the adoption of that symbology. This site has a more complete altar wall with the two other locations. The smaller temples exist in the city, however. These are the 3 main ones to include on a visit.
All right. Seems like somewhere I need to get to. The ruins of the theaters, temples, and amphitheater are impressive. However, most visitors to Pompeii seek out the stunning artwork surviving in the villas and private buildings of the city. Many villas and residential buildings survive, and most offer something to delight the eye through frescoes, mosaics, tiles, and other decorative arts. The modern name for these places are almost as enchanting as the sites themselves, with titles drawn from the art and the artifacts surviving within them. Among the most popular buildings are the brothels, with their raunchy frescoes drawing the interest and amusement of most Pompeii tourists. The Villa of Mysteries is a bit on the fringe of the main sites. However, its frescoes are some of the best preserved with the brightest colors. Frescoes are wall paintings, by the way. Think of like a mural. The House of the Small Fountain offers both frescoes and mosaics, including decorative work on the aforementioned fountain. You may be interested in the House of the Large Fountain, too. The largest of the preserved residences, the House of the Faun, is named after the exquisite statue in its courtyard. And a fawn is like a young deer.
The bathhouses are a curious mix of public and private. In the Roman period, these were publicly accessible, common facilities. Modern bath facilities are private spaces, yet the decorations are on the Mr. Townsend?
Where are we? Oh, Stabian.
Stabian and forum baths of Pompeii resemble private Roman houses with their sumptuous decor. The Stabian baths are older and larger, with few of the ghostly ash bodies in place for viewing. The forum baths are smaller and more central, containing more intact decoration.
All right. Pompeii is one of the best known sites in the world, with hundreds of buildings, artifacts, and works of art. If you're planning a visit, make sure you give yourself plenty of time to absorb the enormity of the city and the ghostly vestiges of once vibrant Roman life. And up here, if you are choosing to go to Pompeii, we have some tips and tricks. According to our guide here, Pompeii is considered an archaeological park, so admission is one general ticket to the entire excavated area. It's large, so bring water and definitely wear walking shoes.
Hundreds of buildings are in various stages of repair and maintenance, and thus not all places are open on a daily basis. You won't be left waiting, however. You should expect that one or two sites on your top pick list will be closed during your visit.
As mentioned before, bring water and sunscreen and wear a hat. Pompeii is in southern Italy near Naples, and it can get quite warm, especially in the summer.
Arrive early and head to the farthest sites first. You will be ahead of the crowds and will get a reprieve from the crush of visitors.
And last, be mindful of your surroundings. It's easy to back into a Roman wall or column as you take a photo, and your backpack might knock into a fresco or two. Between the cobbled streets, gravel floors, and broken tiles, the footing is often uneven, so watch your step. Hey, thanks for joining us in this reading for Pompeii. Again, I'm Mr. Townsend.
Miss Trable.
And enjoy your next vacation.